Anyway, yeah, so like for one thing, right? Apparently he's selling this album potentially for $20,000 and people aren't happy about it. You know what I mean? They're not ecstatic. The funny thing about this is I think Kanye is getting, at least from his core audience, a little bit more pushback for this than he did about the other which I think is hilarious, number one. Number two, for people who love music, I wouldn't assume that they will have a problem paying out of pocket for a musical experience that they pronounce Kanye to be the genius creator and designer of, to be fair. You know, so I didn't mean literally 20,000, like $20, bro. He might be charging $20 to listen to the Vultures 2 album. What platform is he selling it on? He says it's easy, potentially. It's not confirmed from what I heard, but when I heard this, I'm like, that don't sound like it's a bad thing for Kanye to advocate for. You know what I'm saying? Because they know it's not worth 20. I don't think that, to be honest. I think that people have gotten comfortable not paying out of pocket for music. Paying $20 for some ass is criminal, no. I'm not saying that, but you haven't listened to it yet. How would you know if it's ad? Video game is $60. Pay up, yay, dick riders, broke ass niggas. Wow. I'm not even saying they broke. I don't think it's about the album being worth $20 or not. It's about setting a precedence for music that music isn't, or rather shouldn't be free. That's what I feel. You know, if you talk about artists today, unless they're like of the bigger or the upper echelon that we already know, like a Travis, like a Drake, like a J. Cole, Kendrick, Kanye, Nicki Minaj, kinda, and they aren't, you know, on like a major label that's taking a large chunk or percentage out of their, you know what I'm saying, earnings. What benefit, you know what I'm saying, is it? Like, think about the amount of music that you've paid to artists that you really enjoy. And to be honest with yourself, I've probably offered up in my listening experience to the artists that I listen to the most. I may have given unintentionally or indirectly through my listening of their music on streaming platforms. I may have given them maybe a few $100s. Maybe. 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 That's a big maybe, huge maybe. If you get like 5, 6, 7 cents per stream and you listen to an album all the way through, and you don't have to pay out of pocket, but you pay a streaming service or a streaming platform in order to hear it, you're giving said artist, what, like they said 6 cents or something per stream? Or is it per 100 stream? Is it 6 cents per 100 stream or 6 cents per stream? I think it's 6 cents per 100 stream. If it's less than 6 cents, because I might have calculated this wrong in my head. If it's less than 6 cents, I've probably given way less than the supposed hundreds of dollars that I think that I've contributed to some of my favorite artists through streaming alone. So if I think about it like that, some of y'all are saying that like $20 for an album you don't know is good or not could be robbery. But is it not robbery getting an album virtually for free because you pay $10 to get access to the entire history damn near of music in its entirety? Well, you only have to pay $10 to $15 a month for it. But an artist is saying, pay me $20 for my own exclusive shit on my own platform, and niggas are giving him backlash for it. That I don't get. No, not robbery. That's basically robbery, bro. If I'm listening to, I can go to any artist shit on my phone almost instantaneously, get they shit, play it for no out of pocket cost, consume it multiple times, and even after I consume it multiple times, they still will get paid nothing. The alternative is piracy. No, the alternative is paying for music. That's the alternative. I'm not saying that you have to pay for Kanye though. I'm not saying that you have to pay to listen to him. If you don't think it'll be good, don't pay. But the precedence is what I'm talking about. That he's also talking about, that I don't think people are, you know, trying to have that discussion about. I think that they're talking about, oh well, I don't think Kanye's gonna drop a good album, so I'm just not gonna pay for Kanye shit. Or $20 to pay for a billionaire shit is just kind of crazy, which you wouldn't be incorrect on. I mean, he already kind of crazy rich, but the precedence that it sets for smaller acts and shit like that, like how are they ever going to recoup or get like massive amounts of money at any point if niggas don't think that paying for music should be the standard? I don't think it makes sense for you to have access to the entire world's music catalog for $10 a month. I fuck with Vultures, but understand why people don't fuck with it. Yeah, but it's not even about Vultures. It's not even about whether or not Vultures will be good. Vultures 2 will be good. I'm not going to listen to it anyway, so I got no stake in that argument. But for other shit that I listen to, I just think about it overall. Since I've been streaming music, I do not pay the artists that I listen to, basically. I contribute through listening, through stream, I guess, but it's so, like, what do you call it? It's so minuscule that I might as well not even be listening. unless they have a massive, like a large audience. I think you're definitely right, but it's really hard to go back to that state. Yeah, I agree. But it would require people to pay for the shit that they listen to, which would ultimately require people to have less selection and less artists, which I think would also help to this problem that we were talking about on that Patrick CC video not too long ago, where he talked about how there are so many musical artists to select from, and how there was this study about the peanut butter and jelly going at the grocery store, and somebody had way more selections, but they ended up selling less, and then they had way fewer selections, but ended up, I don't remember what the actual study itself was, but what the point was that this argument that there are too many artists that are making music wouldn't be as big of a thing if people went back to paying for the music that they listened to in the first place. It was pasta sauces. No, I'm pretty sure it was peanut butter and jelly. But I'm not going to argue with you about whether it was pasta or jelly. The fact of the matter is people had too many selections and they ended up not choosing anything over choosing something if they had a fewer or a smaller pool to choose from, is what I was trying to say. Don't see honey roasted Peter Pan peanut butter no more, but so much regular. Well, what kind of peanut butter y'all be buying? Y'all are getting into the wrong shit. I'm not talking about peanut butter. You know I'm not talking about peanut butter. You're trying to confuse me. You must be one of those. He'll be forced to release it on streaming because it's going to get leaked first day. That's true too. Internet is a dangerous thing. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if there are enough people that are diehards that are willing to purchase it, you could recoup more money that way. And I think that's just a more important precedence to set for people that are consuming it, that have this, like, especially people that have like the self-righteous attitude about, the music itself. You should definitely support it. I feel like, if that's what you're into, if you already know the type of person that he is, you don't want to support, I think that's perfect and that's fine. That's kind of the side that I'm on. But what he's saying isn't wrong at all. People buy vinyls. I think it's a good idea. Yeah, but I think a lot of people buy vinyl more so now because of the aesthetic of it. Like, if I ask people how often they listen to their vinyl, they'll probably tell me a small percentage in the comparison of the music I play on my playlist.
Or any album, barely got enough to spend on this dono. I'm broke, nigga, I'm broke.
And that's fine. It's fine not having money. But I remember when I didn't have a lot of money, my music selection as a result was a representation of the money that I had to spend for the music, which, I mean, somewhat gave me a bigger appreciation for the music that I was holding at that time. But not having access to as much prevented me, I guess, from getting, I wouldn't say bored, but it prevented me from getting overexposed to so much music. Wouldn't that mean you can't expand your creative sound unless you have the money to afford it, if this becomes the norm? I don't think so. I think that music in its entirety and the whole idea of streaming, I don't feel like was ever to appreciate the gifted. I don't feel like the idea of streaming was ever to make music more accessible to more people. It's always been a bigger way for the industry to make more money off of the artists. And even the way that technology progresses, like, nobody has an MP3 player anymore because everybody has a phone that can also play the music that they make. There's not going to be a reason for you to download music from iTunes and purchase it like you would maybe a Napstar, or you would get it. Some people will burn it. Or get it from LimeWire and then put it on an MP3 player. Now my phone can play it. I don't need an MP3 player. Now my phone has streaming as an automatic option, a default. Apple Music is right there. Spotify is right there. What reason would there be for me to go buy music and then download it to a device so I could play it when I have a phone that can do that for me? Same thing with a car. I don't have a car or a truck that I could put a CD into. So what's the point of having CDs anymore? I don't have a reason for a CD player. I don't have a reason for a radio that needs a CD. So I have a Bluetooth. I have a Bluetooth speaker that I could play all my music off of. You don't need to bring a whole bunch of CDs or full of a packet full of CDs or anything like that to a function or anything to play a whole bunch of music. You just get it off your phone, blah, 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 blah. My point isn't to say that they want people to have to pay to listen to music. I feel like the point is that it's trying to stem away from having media as like a physical, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to stem away from it being a physical thing. Like, it's not supposed to be something that you're supposed to own anymore. And nothing is kind of the way technology and the way, I guess, society has progressed. They progressed to a point where even if you wanted to go back to that, you couldn't, because nothing is, I guess, made for that to blossom. Vinyl had their time. Let CDs have a turn. The CDs are not going to return. Unless you want to do it for like picture aesthetics, or you're trying to be like the the artsy nigga on Instagram, proving that you still have like really great music taste, a really eclectic music taste that other people don't have access to, like that's not making a return. Vinyl, I mean, as quiet as it's kept, I don't think that that's gonna last as much longer either. Like vinyl was a thing, and I still buy vinyl in my free time, but like the way people used to like really die for it and like, oh, okay, I'm going crazy over it, like it being the hot commodity that it was, I don't think that that's gonna last, or I don't think that's gonna maintain. The point wasn't even to say that people shouldn't be allowed to listen to music if they don't have the means to. It's just asking, like, actually like the artist that you're listening to, then why wouldn't you support them? I mean, that's how I was raised. That's how I grew up.
For me, I don't ever seeing this ever truly working unless a lot of major artists do this.
Do what? The whole you got to pay for my music thing? I'm not even saying that this is going to be the new norm. I just think that for him to have gotten this much pushback, for somebody to come out and basically state to me that I'm making an album that you're going to listen to for free, which is basically what streaming is. I'm going to listen to this whole body of work for free multiple times, and after I listen to it 3 times, the nigga who made it isn't going to get really a cent out of me. For you to complain about I get to completely digest your entire body of work virtually for free. This is like artistic theft. I get to take the whole thing in, and then my excuse as to why I won't pay $20 for your album on your website is I don't know if I'm gonna like it. But on streaming, I get to take the whole thing in without paying for it. You can't make that as an argument and also get me to feel like, okay, you are you're the sensible one in this argument. I don't get to consume an entire meal before I like have it put on my bill. When I go to the movies, I have to buy a ticket. I get it. It's Kanye. He's a billionaire. Like, him aside, I'm seeing the precedence being set for just any normal nigga. Unless you're somebody who knows how to work, social media to that harsh of a degree, and you're really making it work for you, I think that's great. I'm not saying streaming can't work. I'm not saying that.
Even for $20, Lamau. Kanye doing that cause he want more. If other artists could even sell for $5, it would put so much more in the pockets of the artists.
Kanye wants more. That's fine. It's not even about Kanye, though. It's about the foundation of his argument. But yeah, it's niggas that have listened to KSG and still, after listening to it, will not go back and buy it. Like physically. When I love a record, especially the ones that I put up there in my top albums, I bought every single one. Bought the vinyl, bought a piece of merchandise, because I know I'm getting it for free at the end of the day. No, but even then, it's like the tour for people that don't have a ton of money. Like, it still takes a lot of money to start the tour. Just like a lot of people think, okay, well, just make an album and then release it independently, and you get to recoup. I still got to pay for studio time. I still got to pay for producers. I still got to pay for engineers. I still got to pay for features. I still got to pay for all this shit independently. In the same way that a tour takes money, it'll make money. It takes money to make it. I'm not just I can't just start a tour for free. But Sean, you bought vinyl on albums you liked. You listened to a bunch of projects you didn't like and didn't buy it. That's facts. That's facts. I'm not sitting up here saying that I'm innocent to the rule of thumb. I'm not trying to avoid that. But I also wouldn't have a problem with an artist saying, I want y'all to pay for the music, because y'all are basically getting it for free and I'm basically getting nothing. Like, percentages of a penny is what I'm getting in response. And I want you to pay for it. Okay, if I don't like your music or I don't like what you've put out, you're not an artist that I'm going to apply that rubric to. I'm going to just stay away from you. But for an artist that I feel a little bit more confident in or has given me some entertainment in the past, I will pay that amount. No one's innocent because it's incredibly convenient. I agree with you. I agree. But obviously that don't mean I think it's right. But that's what the nature of capitalism is. You know what I'm saying? It's not even just one streaming service, it's multiple. But I think in general, this isn't a bad rule of thumb to follow.
On Bandcamp. I'd pay them about 2 times more than what the asking price is if I thoroughly enjoyed an album. Pink Sifu and Slossin Malone might as well have robbed me. I'm really about supporting musicians. Do you think if they brought back paying for music, would bring back more quality in the music? And this microwave era of music would end?
Nah, I mean, there's always been bad musicians as well. There's always been people that follow trends as well before streaming. But I think that not only for control over material, I think it would be a much heavier incentive for an art. I mean, because even record deals, I mean, there's always going to be some level of predators when it comes to musicians. But I mean, it would be a higher incentive for people to create independently, and to realize that they don't need to be as big and as public as some of them are in order to make money or to be in a much higher position. I'm coming from a place of listening to
The
Rock
real problem
Marciano,
is with the streaming services not paying the artists the apparent amount they deserve.
but they never will. To allow yourself to be in that type of relationship is basically you saying that I'm willing to allow my music to be undervalued on purpose for whatever incentive that's what you're agreeing to, and you don't have a choice but to agree to that, because if you're outside of that or you exist outside of those parameters, your virality or visibility is significantly shrunken, if that's a word. I don't know if shrunken is a word. I think shrunk is just fine on its own. But I'm coming from a place of listening to Rock Marciano brag about how he did 6 figures off of releasing his music independently, off of every album release. Like, it's possible to coast off of a few people that really enjoy your work, that you know will confidently support your releases while not having to be as visible, because that's one thing that a lot of artists end up complaining about: visibility. I don't like these new groups of people listening to my music. Y'all saw what Steve Lacy niggas was doing at his concerts and how weird that they were acting. Doja Cat hates her audience. Like, it's just a lot of people that wouldn't feel the need to be as public, as viral, if they felt like, okay, all I need to do is focus on this music. All I need to do is focus on this particular thing, and that's it. Drop your music, do your little tour, go home, do it again in 2 years. But there's so much more I got to do now. And I don't think what he's saying on this is wrong. For him to have gotten the backlash that he got, me having to defend him on this, but the other shit that niggas that had no problem with, I just feel like niggas' morals are just completely out of whack. There's no way you got a problem with Kanye over this, but not over the other shit. It just don't make sense. But it don't matter. It does matter, but I don't see it changing. But it is something that I agree with him on. Like, you should definitely pay for the music. But if the artists don't demand it, I guess don't make an issue. You know what I'm saying? If you don't see XYZ making an issue about it, then whatever. And I definitely wouldn't feel that way about artists that are already on, but I still feel that way because that's artistic integrity, bro. That's still your work. I don't give a fuck if you rich or not. Like, you still put whatever amount of effort into making the material and spend however much it takes to make it. Like, it's still your body of work. I'm still basically getting it for free. Like,